Hello guys and welcome to my channel. I'm beginning a new series in which I analyze stocks based on pure price action, right? But this is just a trading idea and my analysis. So please make sure you do your own analysis, own risk management before taking the trade. This is not a trade advice, right? I had been looking at the 1 hour chart of Indusind Bank. What I like to call is the bigger boy is my 4 hours time frame. What I do is I go with the trend of the 4 hours time frame, but I trade the 1 hour time frame, right? You should always trade in two time frames. The bigger time frame, your bigger time frame, being your bigger boy, go with his trend because obviously he has more money, he knows something that you don't, he sees the bigger moment, right? So now why do I look at that 1 hour time frame? I call it the trading time frame. Simply to say I need to look at the minute details. But then what I saw was I took my analysis from the 10th of the Jan, in which I saw there was a downtrend forming and the downtrend was started by this guy, right? He broke past the previous buyer and he became the seller who made this move, and then again that particular seller took rest at this point, which was again broken by this guy, and this is the seller 2, correct? The same thing happens around this area, and the guy who started it say was this guy, right? This guy is one big move, or you could say this guy maybe. Okay, so what I want you to focus is this style of trading is totally different from others. People say, well, support and resistance, right? And at this exact point, support or resistance should be maintained. But I say that's wrong, because I feel that support and resistance is a zone. There is never an exact point from which seller enter. For example, if you have drawn this as a support, then here the sellers enter a few points down. So this entire zone is what I call a seller, and even if the stock goes above this until it takes out the guy who had started the movement, I'll say it's still a seller's territory. It can still go down. That's why you see people saying the support was broken and the price went till here and they took a buy trade. But why would you go for a buy? There is a seller who started this move, right? He's still not dead until this guy is taken out. Maybe if it goes like this, then you can go for a buy, but this seller beat this buyer, so this seller started here, he ran until here, which means this is a zone. You don't need accurate points, you just need almost imperfect lines. That's how the market is. It's not perfect. Market is not your uncle. Then again, this is the guy who started it approximately, but look at that. The guy who started it here is some damn powerful guy. He pushed the market so down, right? Now, at this point, I'd like you to know that the seller belongs to not the 1 hour time frame, but he belongs to the 4 hour time frame. You want to see? See that? The seller belongs to the 4 hour time frame because the last breach or the last buyer was seen here. Now you may argue that this is a buyer, but look at the amount of time spent here. One candle. I wouldn't consider that as a buyer. I'd consider this as a buyer where he held up for that long. This is the price that he was this seller was scared of. And then when this seller entered, he's not scared of any price other than this. Now thinking about that, in a 1 hour time frame, whatever small movements you see, that has a relevance. You see, how did I know that this seller who started it and who breached almost this point ended his movement here? How did I know that? The guy who started here, right, he ran till here and he rested till here. What percentage of rest did he make compared to the initial move down? Could you say 40%? Yes. Then he made another move, broke past the previous low, made another lower low, then came high. Now he's resting for only 20%, right? He traveled more distance and he's resting lower than last time, which means this seller, has he become powerful yet? Now this guy, he went till here. He didn't travel as much distance as he did last time. So this shows that his momentum has decreased. The seller is becoming tired. But look at the buyer, a total 100% retracement. Then the seller tries to go down again 100% retracement. At this point you should know that the seller is kind of very tired. He doesn't want to go anymore. He is now willing to take compromises in prices. He is willing to sell at a higher price. He is not willing to sell this low. Hence the price moves upward. Now when I looked at the 1 hour chart, I saw a kind of pattern forming. This buyer came up massively, but compared to that the seller came down slow. And if you look at the minute detail, seller came down, went up, 20% retracement, went down, went up, 50% retracement, again 50% retracement, 100% retracement. At this point this seller is dead. But if the seller has so much momentum left, shouldn't he break past? The answer is yes, but he's not breaking past. With seller, the 4 hours guy who was selling in the past, at this point is not willing to sell. But why is that happening? But the buyer, he kicked in higher than the last point, and the buyer went up. He did a 20% retracement, went up 10% retracement. Good job. The buyer is doing a good job. Went up 100% retracement. Okay, the buyer is done for. But then again we thought, fine, the buyers is dead. Now we should continue with the larger trend, right? And we thought he'll go down a lot. But this time also he doesn't go. In fact, he goes till here only. Last time he went until here. The first time he went until here. What does this show? This shows that the buyers are getting desperate. Which buyers? Is it the bigger guy? No, this is the 1 hour buyer. The buyer who's looking at the 1 hour chart, who's looking this as an uptrend. This buyer is getting more and more desperate. But this seller who had so much money starting all the way from here, right? He's letting the small buyer dominate him. What does that mean? Well, that showed me that there's a hint that this seller is giving up and he wants the price to be a little bit higher, maybe somewhere reach till here, right? And then go for a sell. But why still a sell? Well, who was the guy who started it? The guy who started this big move was somewhere here, right? And until that guy is taken out, I will see it as a sell. So why doesn't my sell work from here? Yeah, this is a resistance, but he doesn't seem to he doesn't have that power which this guy had, which means he's not this guy. Or it need not mean that he's not this guy. It means that this guy is changing mind. Now he may be shifting to a buy, which means that this is a possibility of trend reversal. It may break out above, or if he decides to go down, it will go down below. Anyway, wait for a breakout trade. Take a trade maybe here and keep your stop losses say here and take profit of around say 3 ratios. What would be a better trade? Well, my analysis is he will break past this point and then he'll go up, and he'll go up massively, and then we know that this 4 hours guy who was selling, right, he has now turned into a buyer. Then I would wait for my 1 hour guy to make minute movements to bring more and more retracement, and then when the retracement or the pullback is 100%, then I will hit my buy with my risk to reward at least 3. Yes, and I think it will go up even higher than the previous high that he would have formed. You can either take the breakout trade here, but a better trade will be, because there are chances of fake out. Let this guy break. Look at the momentum of this guy coming down. If it is slow and when you see the buyer enter, you can go for a buy. And your target can be the next high, which is 854, giving you a 3.86. If the seller decides, fine, I don't want to go up, I don't think the buyers are interested, and I want to push down, once this breaks past, what you can do is you can keep the risk to reward like this and take a trade till the nearest low. That's it. I don't think it will go below that. What I think, that it will go up, but in case by chance it goes down, you can place a trade, but the risk to reward is not that favorable. It is 1.18. What are the two scenarios? Let me summarize whatever we have discussed. Now this was a seller's market, but we found that the seller here doesn't want to sell at this price. He doesn't like this price. He may want a higher price to sell, because if this guy was the seller, huge seller, he would have made a lower low. But since he did not, this seller, we have to assume that he doesn't want to sell. Moreover, the buyers are getting desperate. These buyers are 1 hour buyers, and these sellers who are themselves doubtful are 4 hour sellers. So we wait. This is what I call a money spot. The big boy is actually confused of what trade to place. Sellers to decide. Look at the first time it came down. Look at the second time it came down. Look at the third time. It doesn't show that the seller is getting weaker. Look at the buyer. He's pushing higher and higher and higher. Can this trade go wrong? Obviously it can. No analysis is foolproof. And then I can keep my risk to reward in check. That is the one thing that I can control, which is one of the most important aspects of trading. I have a 2.81 risk to reward, which means that if I risk 2% of my capital amount in this trade, I am still gonna make around 5% in this one trade alone, which is actually good. So in case I lose this trade too, and if I win the next 2-3 trades, then I'll still be in lot of profit. Thank you. I'll be posting such videos every day. If you want the analysis of one particular stock, please sure to comment it. And if you're trading, be careful with your capital. This is not a trading advice. This is just my analysis. And in case you are making profit with these strategies or techniques which I am telling you in this video on using pure price action without any indicator or anything, then you can surely give this video a like, you can comment, please subscribe.